This will be a discussion between two doctors. And does a minus lens make your vision worse? Assuming you're 2040 or 2050, and then what to do about it. As far as I'm concerned, Rupa Wong has the only right answer, which is start prevention before you start wearing a minus lens. But let's listen to this discussion. It's interesting. Two doctors and their opinions.
Starting off glasses like when you're a teenager, and will that make my kids' eyes worse and everything like that? That gets into a lot more complicated topic, a lot more things to consider with glasses and kids and myopia control. There's different techniques and theories and leading theories out there of prescribing glasses or contacts that can blur their peripheral vision to make their central vision clear, so it kind of keeps their eyes from lengthening. That's what nearsightedness does, is your eyeball lengthens. And that's the idea, is we're trying to slow down the lengthening, the axial length of the eye. That gets trickier. So, so this might be a hard question, and we can cut this out, but but this might be a hard question, is, what if a parent, is in the exam, you're seeing their kid, and they are nearsighted, maybe just a little nearsighted, not bad, but they can't see the board at school, and you're like, hey, glasses will definitely make their vision better, and the parent asks you, okay, if I start wearing glasses, is it going to make my kid's eyes worse? What do you say?
There's quite a lot that goes through the mind of a parent when you recommend glasses for their child for the very first time. Some of it might be trust, like, do I trust this young looking doctor? Do I trust this doctor in general? Do they just want my money? Do they just want me to go buy glasses? Do they really need them? I don't feel like my kid has problems seeing at all. There's the trust thing, and then there's also, wow, you're using this orthotic device on my child for the first time. That's going to change the way they see. It's going to change the way their eye works with their brain, and how their vision is for the rest of their life. Do I really want to change the way my child sees right now? Especially if they haven't complained much about it. But yeah, if they're having trouble seeing the board at school, we find that they're nearsighted, recommend glasses. Parents a little bit concerned about whether or not it's going to weaken their eyes. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
You're asking?
Like, is this going to make my eyes worse? Yeah. Like, is he going to come back next year? And
right.
Now he's like,
these eyes.
Well, here we get the ads.
They take it all in.
These eyes I got from my mom, which I got from my mom.
I got to wear glasses all the time.
Yeah. I mean, usually the more common answer to that is yes, the vision will get worse a year from now, most likely, because if a child becomes specifically nearsighted for their very first time, you catch a 1 diopter nearsighted, something like that, and let's say they're anywhere from 8 to 12 years of age, their vision will be most likely worse the next year. If they're taken off and becoming nearsighted, they're going to continue, most likely, especially their early teenage years and throughout the remaining part of their teenage years, becoming more nearsighted until it eventually slows down. But it's not due to the glasses themselves. It's just due to the length of the eye changing and causing that. But definitely not due to the glasses. The glasses are just refocusing the light that is out of focus inside the eye and refocusing it with a minus lens, so the light is focused on the retina instead of in the center of the eye with nearsightedness. But definitely the eyes are going to get worse, or very high chance that individual's eyes are going to get worse by the following year, just due to normal changes. That's just how the human body works when we're young. I'm nearsighted myself. I'm wearing contacts right now, but half the time you'll see me in my videos, I'm wearing my glasses. And that happened to me as well when I was in 4th grade. Found out I needed glasses, and I had that. Went and got them, and I put my glasses on. I saw leaves on trees. And every year after that, I could feel my eyes getting worse. And I knew I needed to go in because I had that clarity and and my vision tanked, and here I am, kind of a moderate to high myope. In other words, I'm nearsighted, is what that means. My vision's blurry for far away unless I wear glasses or contacts. It's very good for near without glasses or contacts, but it's very blurry for far. So
yeah, so you're saying, and that's pretty much kind of what I say. You're saying that the vision would do that even if the child didn't wear any glasses at all, right?
Yeah.
You know, whether it's like genetics or environment or, you know, what have you. So I would say that probably the longer I've practiced, the more, even though I mean, I started off careful, but I feel like I've become more careful or more aggressive or conservative, depending on how you look at it, of prescribing glasses to children. So specifically, if we're noticing that this child is becoming more nearsighted, and maybe it's like going at a faster rate than we think, you know, whether like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like in those ages, then I do kind of watch them more closely. You know, we start talking about myopia control, whether it's, you know, contacts or trying glasses or, you know, kind of whatever method there is out there. But you know, depending on what, you know, the patient and the parent decides and everything. But I feel like I've gotten a little bit more careful and more.
These are very sincere doctors. They don't know what to do about it. For myself, I admit it. My reading habits took my vision down. It's 100% my fault. It was not their fault. But you put a minus lens on the kid, and as a control system, it speeds up going down. They don't want this to happen, but they don't know what to do about it either. And that's a tragedy of it. They don't understand that the eye is controlling itself to the accommodation system or signal. It always does that. The primate eye, which these people ignore. There's no such thing as weaken. The eye is controlling itself to the average of what you look at. And they never teach this in ophthalmology because they can't use it, and the public won't understand it nor take prevention seriously. Now, I blame myself. Until you control the kid by getting the kid's nose off the page 20 inches. A critical point is that 2040 to 2060 line. At that point, for me, it's begin wearing a plus full time and measuring my own refractive state using a Snellen and test lenses. That's the only way you can prevent it. And I don't say get out of it. I don't say weaken. I say avoid, prevent, be intelligent scientist, engineer, and take science seriously. These people can't do it. Rupa Wong takes science seriously. She knows what's going to happen if she lets her kids put their nose on the page. It happens to everybody. And it's not fair to ask medical people to do something or anything about it. They're right. Once you start with a minus lens, it's over for you. The myopia you get will be permanent, and it will be because that minus lens presumed to fix you. They truly believe that. And I admit, dealing with a kid is almost impossible. But where the person is an engineer who designed control systems, you'll get away from the word weaken. You get into the words of personal measurement control, meaning Snellen, test lenses. You don't know, make your own measurements, as I'm doing it. If you don't want to make your measurements, you don't belong in a scientific study or in a scientific discussion. Only Rupa Wong gets it right. She doesn't talk about prevention, except for her children, because she knows the public will not take prevention seriously. The doctors let their kids put the nose on the page and they don't know enough to stop it. So in a way, nobody's to blame, except we are all to blame because we let our kids do that. Of course, I eventually learned this from Francis Young and a number of people in the medical community. But they'll tell you, we don't know what to do about it. And the public will not take us seriously. They will not take any sort of prevention seriously, which is right back into your lap at 2040 to 2050 to 2060. You might be able to do what I'm doing, but I doubt it. I know you don't have the interest. You have great fear of wearing a plus veneer. You hate looking at Snellen, even at simple Snellen. You hate it. That's why you won't succeed, because you don't even make an attempt and you don't know what you're doing. Rafelson made this very clear, and with the same result. People are ignorant. They only understand a minus lens, and their vision will go to hell as soon as they start wearing that minus lens permanently. Add your own commentary. It's not the doctor's fault. It's our fault too when we reject prevention when we're at 2040, when it could have been successful. Thank you.